Today we are going to discuss continuation of number system, that is next three exercises, 4, 5 and 6 exercises we will discuss today. And before I start my class, I request you to sit with your scale, pencil, compass and eraser. Just pause this video, go and get all those things, come back and sit. Yeah. Hope everyone brought your belongings. Now let us visualize a decimal number on number line. How to visualize we will see today. A terminating and non-terminating visualization on number line. Okay. So keep your belongings ready with you. Do along with me. I will say how to do. You just do. First we will discuss. We can take any number. That is, I am taking 3.465, so terminating decimal. So I have taken 3.465. Now see this number, this is above 3, greater than 3 and lesser than 4. So draw a number line, mark 3 here and 4 here. Okay, because this number lies in between 3 and 4, right? This is greater than 3 because 3 point something is there. This is greater than 3 and it is less than 4. Okay. Now in between we will be having 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. Equally we have to divide. Okay. 3.5. You can assume 1 centimeter in between. Take the scale as 1 centimeter and draw these points on the line. So after marking, I will write 4. Here 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9, and here comes 4. Now, where is our number? We have to locate now. This is 3, here 4. Okay. Now, what is the first decimal we got here after 3? Immediate decimal is 4. The first decimal is 4. Now, where is 4? Here 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. Here it is. So, mark like this. Okay. So, it means what? Our number lies in between 3.4 and 3.5. Is that correct? Yes. It comes after 3.4 and before 3.5. So next visualization. So we have to mark 3.4 here. Here I am marking 3.5. What comes after immediately 3.4? Again insert 10. 3.42, 3.43, sorry, 3.44, next 3.45, next comes 3.46, next 3.47. So still numbers are there. 3.48, 3.49. You can write till 3.5. You can write till. You can go on till 3.5. But what comes after 4? We have to mark. What comes after 4 is 6. So where is 3.46 is here. So again, our number lies in between 3.46 and 3.47. In between, now we have to locate 3.465 in between 3.46 and 3.47. That will do right. I look like this side. So now 3.46 I got. Next, what we will get is 3.46 here here 3.47. So what comes in between this we have to write 461. So it means 3.460 this is. Okay. So this is 61, 3.462, 3.463, 3.464, 3.465, 3.467, 0.468, 3.469. After that you will get 3.470. Now our number is 3.465. So where is our 3.465? It is here. So we got our number. This is how we visualize a terminating decimal number on number line. Hope you have understood this. Next I will move on to non-terminating, that is recurring. So we'll see how recurring can be visualized on number line. Children, now we'll see visualization of any repeating decimal. You can take any number. I will take as 2.3444 something. So this can be written as 2.34 bar, right? So 4 is repeating, 3 is not repeating here, only 4 is repeating. Now we will visualize it. Now as it is greater than 2. So first number we have to take is 2. First number we have to take is 2 and just draw a number line. So it comes in between 2 and 3. So what we got here is 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, 2.9 and 3.0, that is 3. So now we got numbers in between 2 and 3. Now what comes after 2 here is 3. So where is our 2 number? So this is our 2.3. Next take that 2.3. What is the next number? It is 2.4. So this number lies in between 2.3 and 2.4. So this is 2.3. Again insert numbers. Here we got 2.4, 2.31, 2.32, 2.33. Next 2.34. We got 2.34. Next 2.35 and some other numbers till 2.4. Now what we got is 2.34 here. Another number is 2.35. So what is our number is 2.34 is repeating. So 4 comes. So next we have to take these two numbers, 2.34 and 2.35. So 2.344 lies in between these two numbers. Mark those. 2.34 is starting number. Here 2.35. Now we can write 341, 2.342, 2.343, next 2.344, next 2.345. Now we got 2.344. Next 2.344. 4 it is repeating. So again we have to visualize. So up to here. So this is a visualization of 2.344. You can do up to 2 decimals. That is enough. If you want, you can do with one more decimal also. Next step you will get 2.344 and 2.345. In these two, we have to insert one more step, like starting number will be 2.344, next is 2.345, so that will come next. Okay, next topic we'll see irrational numbers. Okay, identities and visualization of irrational number on number line. That is our next topic. We'll see. Now we are going to discuss irrational numbers. A few identities are there. Those identities we'll discuss now. Now, first identity is root of a into root of b. Always it will give root ab. It means what? Root 2 into root 3 is root 2 into 3. That is root 6. Okay, root 2 into root 3 is root over 2 into 3. That value is 2 3s are 6. This is our first identity. Next, same division also we can do like this. Root a by root b. This can be written as root over a by b. You can take the same numbers. You can take as example root 2 by root 3. You can write overall root divided by 2 divided by 3. Okay, these are the first two identities. Next we will go into product of these. So these are monomial. One term is there. Next we will see product of two binomials. Okay, so this we can mark as 1 and 2. Third one is root a plus root b into root c plus root d. Okay, so no repetition here. A, B, C, D, all are different irrational numbers. So what will be the result? We'll see. Order may be different from your textbook. Okay, means identities order may be different. Okay. Now root a into root c is root ac plus root a into root b is root of ad. Next, root b into c is root over bc. Next, root over b into d is b. Let us see an example for this also. You can take root 2 plus root 3 into root 5 plus you can take root 7. So all we are taking differently. Now we will see what will be the result. So root over first 2 5s are 10. So root 10. Directly you can multiply 2 with root 2 first. Distributive property. Root 2 into root 7 next. 2 7s are 14. Next. 3 5s are 15. Next. 3 7s are root over 21. So there is no like term. No like term is there. So we cannot add. So this is how we use this identity to multiply. If you got all different terms, you have to multiply like this. Next, we have a plus b whole square. Root a plus root b. This you are very familiar with. Root a plus b, root a plus root b whole square. Root a whole square plus 2 into root a into b is root ab plus root b whole square. Now here square root and gets cancelled. We will get a square plus 2 a plus 2 root ab plus b, because square and root gets cancelled, there will not be any square. So a plus 2 root ab plus b. This you know to expand like this, but still I am writing one example. So root 2 plus root 3 whole square will give you root 2 whole square is how much? 2. Okay, so 2 into root ab, so 2 3s are 6, yes, plus root b whole square, that is root 3 whole square is 3. So you can just simplify it. 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 2 root 6. Sometimes students will add this 5 and 2. 5 plus 2 7, 7 root 6. No, you should not add. This is an irrational number, this is rational, you cannot add. See here, this is 2 root 6 is an irrational number. You cannot add irrational number to the rational number, don't add. Okay. So we'll see next property. I am erasing this and I write here. So root a into root a minus root b. Now a plus b into a minus b. What is formula? A square minus b square. That is root a whole square minus root b whole square. What we get is root a whole square is a, root b whole square is b. So if any number you got like this, you can directly write a minus b. Okay. So see one example. And take 5 into root 2 minus root 5. If you got a square minus b square directly, you go 2 whole square minus root 5 whole square. That is 2 minus 5. You will get minus 3. Okay. Now these are the identities which you have. Let us move into visualization of irrational number on number line. We will take any example. You already have one example in your textbook. You will see a different one. You have in your textbook root 3.5. I will take any other number and I will show you how to represent on number line. And erasing this, hope you got this. Yes, now I am going to visualize root over 4.3. This is the number which we are going to visualize now. Now, whatever step I do, you do along with me, then you will understand clearly. Now, I will be dictating you and I will be solving at the same time. So, do along with me, right? Now, what is this number? What is inside root is 4.3. Draw a line segment of 4.3. Draw a line segment of 4.3 centimeters. Name it as AB. Name it as AB. Did you draw? Everyone is drawing now. If anyone is not drawing, please do it. AB is 4.3 centimeter. Okay. Now, draw 1 centimeter which is extension and mark as BC as 1 centimeter. Okay, everyone are drawing this, right? Now, bisect the AC. Bisect is what is the meaning of bisect? Means we are finding midpoint. So midpoint of AC. So I found my midpoint. Name it as O. Midpoint of AC, not AB. Find the midpoint of AC. Mark it as O. Okay. Now OC as radius. OC as radius. Draw semicircle like this. Draw a semicircle. Did you draw? You will draw? Right. Good. Now semicircle you have drawn. At B, draw one perpendicular. Draw one perpendicular which touches this semicircle. Name it as D. Name it as D. Okay. Now, if you measure the length of BD, it will be root 4.3. It will be root 4.3. Okay, this is how we visualize root 4.3 on number line. Okay. Hope you got it. Previously we have discussed root 2, root 3 directly. Now decimal points also I am showing you. Okay. So first we will mark AB line segment with the given number, that is 4.3. Then extend B to C with 1 centimeter. Construct one midpoint. Name it as OC. Midpoint of AC. Midpoint of AC as O. Okay. Now OC or OA as radius. Draw one semicircle. After drawing, at B, construct one perpendicular. Construct one perpendicular which touches the semicircular D. Then the length of BD will be root 4.3. Okay, this is how we visualize. The next, our last topic we will discuss now, surds. The surds of next topic we will discuss surds. Okay, surds and their properties and a few formulae we will discuss. Okay, now directly I write properties. What is a surd or radical? Is any number which is in the form of nth root A is called as a surd, so it is called as radical. Okay. Now, any number which is in the form of nth root A, A's power should not be equals to n. If you got cube root 27, cube root 27. See here, it means what is 27 power 1 by 3. 27 power 1 by 3. Here 27 is a perfect cube, that is 3 cube. So if you write like this, 3 gets cancelled, you will get answer as 3, which is a rational number. That's why whatever the number which lies inside the root, its order should not be equals to its power should not be equals to the order. This 3 is called, n is called as order. So here they should not be equal like this. What happens if equals is, it becomes a rational number. Now we will see few properties. First and most important thing what you have to remember is nth root A is also can be written as a power 1 by n. A power 1 by n. Now it means just now I have written, right? Fifth root 2 means what? 2 power 1 by 2. 2 power 1 by 5 we are writing like this. Fifth root of 2. Next, nth root 2, nth root A. So 2 roots are there. So this can be directly written mn root A. It means what is a power 1 by mn. So you can multiply these two powers. Okay. How we got this is just a power 1 by m whole power 1 by n. So if you multiply these two, a power 1 by m n. So how to apply this application is, if this is a question given to you, third root and fourth root 3 is 3 fours are 12. So 12th root, this is a simplest way to write this. Okay. Nth root A into nth root B. See here order is same, n. Order is same. So these terms are different. So you can directly write nth root AB. Nth root AB. This is called order, and A and B are called as radicands. Okay. This nth root A is called as radical. This A and B are called as radicands. Nth root A into B you can directly write. What again if you convert AB whole power 1 by n. Okay. Next, we see next property. Property is nth root a power n. Nth root a power n can be written as a power m by n. So cube root of 2 power 4, if you have, you can write 2 power 4 divided by, this is how we can write. And if you got a power minus n, you can write 1 by a power n. And few laws of exponents also used in that. So what are the laws of exponents which you have already learned in the AP classes, those also used in that exercise. Those briefly I will explain here. So first is product law, a power m into a power m. That will give you a power m plus n. Next, a power m by a power n. So here condition a naught equals to 0 will give you a power m minus n, and ab whole power m can be written as a power m into a power m to b power m. Okay, whole power m you can split into a power m into b power m, right? A power 0 is always 1. Okay, these are the laws of exponents which were given in book. So this you can use these properties to solve those questions. Next, very important, I kept last this topic because it is very important, rationalization. Rationalization and rationalizing factor, both we'll see now. Rationalization is nothing but a process of changing an irrational number into a rational number. So I do have an irrational number, that is root 3. I want to convert this into rational number. This is an irrational number. I want to convert this into rational number. How do I convert? Changing this process, converting this is called as rationalization. Now let us see this. I want to convert this root 3 as rational number. So I have to multiply with something. If you multiply with 2 root 3, so what we will get? Let us see. So 2 is here, 2 is like 2 out. Root 3 into root 3 is root 3 whole square. Root 3 whole square is nothing but 3. What we got? 6, which is a rational number. 6 is a rational number. Now I converted root 3 as rational number. This process is called as rationalization. Now here root 3 and 2 root 3 are called as rationalization factor of each other. Okay, root 3 and 2 root 3 are called as rationalizing factors of each other. So both becomes ratio. So root 3 is the rationalizing factor of 2 root 3. 2 root 3 is the rationalizing factor of root 3. For every, we are talking about monomial. Only one term I am talking about. If you have any monomial term, you will have infinite rationalizing factors. Even for binomial also, you will have infinite. So every irrational number will have infinite rationalizing factors. Why they will have? Why will have infinite? Please let us see now. Now I have multiplied with 2 here. What about 3 root 3? We will get 3 into 3 root 3 is we will get 9. So I will multiply with 100 root 3. What we get is 100 into 3. We got 300. Like this. You can just change this coefficient to up to infinite. So every irrational number will have infinite rationalizing factors. Okay. Next, this is for monomial. Let us see what will be for binomial. So binomial, any irrational number which is in the form of root a plus root b will have its rationalizing factor as root a minus root b. This is very important. Every irrational number which is in the form of root a plus root b will have its rationalizing factor as root a minus root b. Let us check. Root 2 plus root 3 I will take, and I will multiply with root 2 minus root. See, I have taken this root a plus root b, I have taken root a minus root b. This is product we are doing into a plus b into a minus b, a square minus b square. So root 2 whole square into root 3 whole square. So a square minus b square, a minus. So here 2 gets cancelled, root and 2 gets cancelled, we get 2, here 3. So our answer is minus 1, which is a rational number. We converted this irrational number into rational Then we multiplied with root a minus root b, we got rational number. So any number which is in the form of root a plus root b will have its rationalizing factor in the form of root a minus root b. Next, conjugate. We have conjugate also. Conjugate is different from rational number. We will see what is conjugate. Just now we have discussed rationalizing factor. Now I will say conjugate. It is similar to rationalizing factor, but conjugate is different. I have this 2 plus root 3. Now what is the conjugate of this is, I should get both product and sum. Sum of two irrational numbers, sum and product. Sum and product of two irrational numbers should become a rational number. Sum and product of two irrational numbers becomes rational number in conjugate. Okay. So I got 2 plus root 3. Now what is the conjugate? Is 2 minus root 3. So if you multiply 2 2s of again a plus b into a minus b, 2 square minus root 3 whole square. This is 4 minus 3. We got 1, which is belongs to rational number. Okay. So product will be done. Next we have to do sum also. So that is 2 plus root 3 plus 2 minus root 3. Here root 3 gets cancelled. 2 plus 2, 4. Got? This is how we have to do. See here, you take root 7. Now I have to find conjugate. I will take conjugate as 2 root 7. Okay. Now if you do this, 2 into 7, you will get 14. I got 14 by multiplying. I got 14 by multiplying. What about sum? Root 7 plus 2 root 7. 2 plus 1, 3. So 3 root 7, which does not belong to rational number. So 2 root 7 is not a conjugate of, it is a rationalizing factor, but it is not a conjugate of root 7. What will be the conjugate then? Is minus root 7. Minus root 7. How? Check once. This you will get root 7 into minus root 7 is, you get minus 7, which is a rational number. Now if you do sum, what will you get? Yes, minus root 7. So plus minus root 7 is 0, which is a rational number. Okay. This is your concept of number system. Please go to the worksheet and solve the questions which are given to you. Utilize the time and watch video completely. Don't try to skip video. Watch video completely. Every video is very important. Don't skip video. Okay, watch video completely. Thank you, children. Have a good day.